And we will resume our talks with our party members, now that Valor is gone. Let's see. Fall from Grace. Talk about our companions? Yeah, tell me about yourself. Me, really? She thinks for a moment, then nods. Very well, if there's anything you're curious about, please ask. I'd like to know your not the first option. Thoughts on my situation. Do you know anything else that might prove useful? Well, shadows keep coming to kill me. I have a feeling they're following, but I don't know why. I think there's someone out to murder me, so much I built a tomb to try to kill them. I wasn't always immortal. Ravel made me that way. Troy said that there's a keeper in this Fortress of Regrets, and that this holds my mortality prisoner. It seems to me that you must find this keeper and speak to him. I think conversation would prove most illuminating. It would seem that this keeper does not want your mortality recovered. What about these shadows? Shadows are shades of the dead. They do not tend to hunt. They tend to lie in wait for victims. Curious. I think someone's out to murder me. Then whoever the killer is, he's lived a very long time to have pursued you so long. Could the killer be as mortal as well? I don't know. Ravel made me immortal. Why did you wish to become immortal? Do you have any knowledge as to why Ravel did such a thing? All I know is I asked her to do so. Ravel said something which interested me. She mentioned the War of Fiends, which undoubtedly meant the Blood War. I find that most curious. That, and the plane where Ravel made her home, often finds itself in contested ground for the conflict. Perhaps whatever brought you to Ravel involved the Blood War? What's the Blood War?
Updated my journal.
It's a conflict that rages across the lower planes between the Badazu and Tanari. They fight over whether evil should be lawful or chaotic. It is a war best avoided at all costs. Let the Tanari and Badazu butt heads and leave the rest of the planes in peace, or at least in relative peace. Have you served in it? No. My mother did. Succubi generally tempt mortals to bring their spirits to the abyss to create more Tanari to die in the Blood War. Your mother served? Yes, she was among the finest, seducing countless mortal men. She now dwells in the abyss, selling her children into slavery. And so you were sold into slavery by your mother. For a time, I won my freedom in a contest of improvisation. It was a very long time ago. Who did she sell you to? Sell you to? To the Badazu. I think she rather expected that they would kill me. Despite her knowledge of other subjects, she knows little of their culture. So she sold you to her sworn enemies. Okay. And the answer is yes. So he said that as long as the war goes on, the rest of the planes are allowed relative peace? Do they... Okay, it's a very large war, and a lot of people get caught up on it. Does that mean they use human troops? On occasion, yes. And a lot of mercenaries. Alright, I have some other questions. Why did you set up the brothel? To give those lustful fevers that strike the mind more avenues of expression, rather than the simply carnal. Much pleasure can be had in conversation and engaging the verbal arts with others. I think we've seen this. Yeah, I think we have seen this before. When we were in Ravel's maze, Ravel said you were tormented. I think we did follow that.
Yes.
That conversation. Or we talked to her about it when we were in Cursed. How did you come by your name? There's much to be said and a greater deal left to be unsaid. Is it your real name? Perhaps, perhaps not. Alright, who's to say which name is a greater one? The one that is earned or the one that is given? I think the name which is earned. I think that's more in line with what our character thinks. That carries greater weight. Or I'm not sure I attach any value to a name. No. I think that the name earned carries a greater weight. Grace says that may be so. Why do you think that? Because a name that is earned is not arbitrary. A name that is earned tells of what you've accomplished. The point is well taken. So then why are you called Fall from Grace? I'd like to know how you came to be called that. I have fallen from my people. Some would say risen from my people, perhaps. But fall feels more right to me. She looks at you questioningly. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. After all, fall carries with it an underlying sense of loss. She is silent for a moment, then nods thoughtfully. Yes, perhaps that is why it felt as it did. I came to terms with the loss long ago, but the name has remained. Are you sure you've come to terms with it? Revel didn't seem to think that you had. She's silent for a moment, her gaze becoming distant. When she turns to you, her eyes are a strange shade of azure, a shade that speaks of sadness and tears. Ravel sees much with her black brambled eyes, some things which are hidden to other eyes, even things about their own natures. She shakes her head slowly. Sometimes the pain makes itself known. I've learned it is a difficult thing to turn on one's nature. So are you going to be alright? She smiles very faintly and she meets your gaze. Yes, you are kind to ask. The pain still makes itself known, but I came to terms with my nature many centuries ago. Thank you for asking about my well-being. Your concern is not unwelcome. Yeah, it's just checking on you. Let's move out. Right, we've already talked to Morta. How about Anna?
Aye. What is it you want then?
Alright, there isn't much new to say. How you found my body. I think we've seen this all before. So asking why she found us in the alley. She doesn't usually go there. I'm not sure if I saw this before. So she just went there for some reason. She just got lucky. But we know she's lying. But she doesn't know she's lying.
Updated my journal.
She nods slowly. Aye, mayhap. She gives a half-hearted shrug. It wasn't one of my usual haunts, but I couldn't help myself. I just wanted to see what was there that day. And there you were, dead as a timber. You were like a lodestone, you were. I don't know what led me to find you. That's interesting. A few other questions. Nope. Okay. Talk to Dakin now.
What is your will?
There are things I would know, Dakin. Tell me about that other me, the incarnation you knew. What was he like? Dakin? Know that he was different. Know that the differences were not marked on skin, nor an attire that cloaked him. Know that he was different in the way he thought and the means he acted upon his thoughts. His will became substance. Know that he saw others and did not see them. He knew only how they could serve him. His heart was treacherous and it was cold, and never did its coldness burn him. I think we've been through this. I'm just going to click through a bit. Yeah, I think we have seen this. Let's talk to... There are a few other options with Fall from Grace that were interesting. Tell me a little bit about Morta. He's most peculiar. I've seen a great deal in my life, but nothing quite like him. He behaves somewhat like a Mimir. Granted, there's no denying he is knowledgeable, but he has a certain... She sniffs at the air and wrinkles her nose. Batorian smell about him. Alright, and we know why that is, because he was from the Pillar of Skulls. Yeah, we've been to Baator. Right, someone else? What do you think of Anna? She's strong and capable, and she's quite passionate. I almost wish I'd met her long ago and asked her to come to the brothel. Perhaps things might have been different. She studies for a moment. What do you think of her? I think she doesn't care for you very much. And I think our character is taken with her. So, yeah, I think that's, I was going to say, well, I think I could fall in love with her. You might wish to tell her so. I don't know. I seem to have this wreckage wherever I go, with Daenerys especially, and the lives of others I've touched, not to mention Ravel. Why she was attracted to me, I can't imagine. But I'd used her as well. Maybe I should just be careful with my feelings. That might be a genuine response, actually, given everything that's happened. To that, I would say this. Love may move the planes themselves when it is strong and true, and there is nothing truer in all of my experiences than the truth of how one feels about another. Alright, I wanted to talk about someone else. Tell me about Dakin. He's most uncommon for a Githzerai. In what way? Well, he obeys you. That alone would mark him as a pariah among his people. His entire race were once slaves, and even the reminder of servitude to them is distasteful. Just a second. Yes, he has made a promise to me long ago to serve me until I died. It was after I saved his life, and he did not know that I was immortal. Truly, as a Githzerai, he must be suffering indeed. How did you save his life? After he fell from Shrek lore, one of my previous incarnations came to him as he lay dying in limbo and gave him the unbroken circle of Zerthamon, that religious text he has. Should we be telling her about... Yeah, why not? Do you know why the incarnation saved his life? I think I saved him because of his blade. And I think, yeah, given what we just saw with that magical pen, I think that's true. Curious. You know, a blade that reflects the will of the wielder is a potent weapon if the wielder knows himself. Perhaps that is why I saved him then. Is there anything else you can tell me about Dakin? Dakin approaches everything in an orderly fashion. Again, most curious for Githzerai. They tend to be unpredictable. They follow their impulses rather than plan. Alright. What about me? What are your thoughts on the current situation? No, we've seen this. Some other questions. Tell me about yourself. Nope, I think that's about it. Alright, is there any new...
What is it you want then?
I don't think there are any new, new bits here. Alright. Nope, I think that's it. Maybe I should stop in at the tattoo parlor. Maybe maybe there'll be a new tattoo there that is useful. Alright, so, in summary, we gave Nameless One an extra first level and second level mage spell, and we also doubled the number of first and second level mage spells that he has. Dakin gets a lot of extra constitution, which raises his hit point total considerably, and it also gets a +1 bonus to armor class and some more bonus to her base hit points.
Done.
Great. And since with all these extra spells, I'm gonna go and assign them. Woo! I can't even see the there's so many. Doesn't even fit on the menu here. Alright, and got a lot more of these ones too. I think we'll go back to the Vampire Touch for this one. Ball of Lightning was not especially useful against the demon that we had to fight in the dream. Looks great. I think it is time to depart. We'll rest and then depart for the Fortress of Regrets.